to Kachai with Lucky, a conversation that is needed, but we had taken a bit of time without having it. Today, we are bringing it. The conversations you should have before committing to any relationship. Say you're dating, before you move to the next step, which would be fiancé, or you want to get married, what kind of conversation should you have as a couple? I have Brian Sema, another sex therapist, people management consultant. Ashlyn Mubiru Mrs. is also here with us. Conversations we should all have before we actually get into a relationship, because we found that couples are really challenged. You're already married, but you didn't talk about money. So now your
time has come and you're like, this is not what I bargained for. What were you bargaining in the first place?
Those important things to talk about. Ashley.
One thing people forget, that when they go into a relationship, and I keep telling them, go into a relationship with an open mind. Have a blank check in your head to know that what are the basics I'm supposed to have. One is money, because money drains any relationship, whether it's a lot or little. But at least let us see that there is money. How? What are you doing? You find a guy who says, I'm a hustler. There are things I'm doing, but say you're together cheetah. We are in a struggle of getting more money.
Right.
And you keep saying, my guy, and you know men are very smart.
Right.
Especially I'm talking to women now. He will come, he will even borrow a BMW for a whole month or 2 or even 3. Paying some little money there, and they give him that car to come and pick you and drop you and confuse you. Have you understood what this guy does? Or all you have to do is, we are hustling. Hey, man, he gave me 100,000. He gave me 50,000. I went and saw his sister. All those maybe are not even sisters. They are ex-girlfriends or friends or workmates. So you need to understand, what does this guy do? What conversations do you carry? What does this lady do? Because at the end of the day, you want a woman who is going to grow you, who is going to empower you. You're going to empower each other. You know a future is clear. So conversations of work are very key.
Ashlyn, before we even get to work, earlier on you did touch on something really important, and that is finances. People fear or shy away to have this conversation with their partners, especially when you're in the dating process before you transition into something serious. Why it's important to have this conversation is you need to know, like you said,
security.
Where do you get your money from?
Yes.
That is security. What does she do? If I get married to this woman, is she the kind of woman that is going to build me?
I know.
And that all can be, this is a conversation we would have. Who is going to be paying what bills?
What bills?
Yeah. Does this man know where his responsibility is in terms of finances and bills? So when you have these conversations, you don't get shocked when you later on get married and the man is not doing the things that you're not doing. Because at least you had the conversation and you got a kind of a glimpse into how you would act like when you get married.
You see, the biggest trouble we have in many relationships, people have left beautiful, would have been relationships because of things that are minor. What is minor to you might not be minor to me. And what is minor to another family may be serious to others. There's this lady who I've been dealing with. She's been married for 6 years.
Right.
So I asked her, because whatever she was talking about looks like she was providing everything, school fees and everything. I mean, they have and then I asked her, what does your man do? She said, I don't know. I don't know what he does.
For 6 years?
Yes, I don't know, because sometimes he tells you he's doing he's a land broker. Then the other day you hear him in different things. So I'm like, okay,
he's a hustler.
He's a businessman. Everything is under businessman.
You see, the biggest trouble with our girls lately, they fail to understand, do I need a man who has, or I need a man who is going to be having? Because having today and continuation, because we need a fountain flow.
Yes.
Many people have little things that have just banged into them. Someone cracks a deal of 300 million, marries, but doesn't even know how to maintain
that.
300 million. So a lot of girls, this girl, yesterday, she was actually at police, and they called me and said, like, what do we do with this kind of person? They came, they were going to introduce me now. when they asked her, we need to meet your husband and find out what's up, who is taking you. And then the guy got an accident. Mbu,
Are you serious?
mbu, that was a lie.
That's
of
what he
course.
said.
So that's when,
okay.
you know, those are red flags.
It didn't show up. And then the day they were having issues, meanwhile she had gotten pregnant. So they were trying to hurry
Oh,
things.
so she's pregnant
Yeah,
too.
they were trying to hurry things so that then the guy disappears always. So one of the turn off for me was like, when they were pregnant, when she had just given birth, after the provision that they looked for him, he couldn't figure out where he was. Then he had taken her all over different plots of land, different houses. That is mine, that is mine, that is mine. But biggest problem with many young girls
Women,
is
eh?
wanting somebody who has, but you don't know their source. Their source. So me, when people come to me, what do you ask a man? Which kind of questions do I ask or talk about on the first date? First of all, you talk about who he is, not what he is. You see, what he is keeps on changing. I'm a CEO of Brian's Naturals. That is that's not who I am. But me as Brian, I'm the unintelligent person. I'm a creator. I'm this and this. I'm a people management people. I'm a teacher
Management
or I'm a
consultant.
doctor.
Don't mess it up.
So the issue
she
is,
gets really
most people need to find out
emotional.
who the person I am dating is. Who the person I am dating is.
But you see, again, there are conversations you can have at the beginning of the beginning of dating. That's different.
Yes.
When the relationship
Seems
to be,
to be
going
moving
somewhere,
to, yes.
and might end up into my. But there's men you date and you're just dating
And you're just
for
dating
you
for
want
the sake of
nothing.
it. Yeah.
So I don't want to.
You don't
know
want
what
details
brand
about
you
you.
are.
Let's eat your
No.
money and go at that moment.
But if I wanna become your wife, or if you're to become my husband,
Yes, a
and you
long-term
can see that
relationship.
in the conversations you are starting now, there is we.
Yes.
Once we is
comes
involved,
in,
then,
now the question
conversation
should
on
start.
finances.
Yes.
Finances, people misunderstand. Finances does not mean that
You-
you must be having money.
Yes.
Where is your plan as we have this conversation in terms of sustaining our relationship financially? And what is your contribution going
To
be?
it.
You see,
Yes.
You know, I lost a girlfriend many years ago because I didn't have a car. So,
Nice one.
Who are
so
you?
she asked me, you know, everything was beautiful. She asked me, so which car are you driving? Like we had met several moments. Which car are you
Right.
driving? And I'm like, no, I don't drive. Like, man, I don't date people who don't drive.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that is her focus.
Exactly.
I should date a guy who drives.
That was a beautiful statement. 3 years down the road, she found me in an exhibition where I'd exhibit and stuff like, wait, this is you. She didn't know who I was and where I was going. You need to know a plan. If a guy has a plan, a workable plan,
Yes.
it's a beautiful conversation. But then when you talk about what I have at the current moment, because people borrow cars, people hire cars, people get loans to
People
drive.
get homes
Right.
that are not theirs.
People get, loans to drive. So when we talk about serious, me one of the terms is like you have to be intelligent. You have to be able to tussle me out, speak out. I need to hear you speak about certain things. Those days I used to go to internet and Google a certain topic
And just sit there,
understand
oh my
exactly.
And go and get a chick and start unleashing
you-
that information. Tuli kumbere.
Now the thing is, a lot of people are doing that. Now I
Why would I?
realize a lot of
Honestly.
Tomorrow, don't call me.
a lot of people have actually mistaken knowledge for intelligence.
Yeah.
Someone can know something, but they're very daft.
I know.
So
Yeah.
me, I rather look about an intelligent person. What are we when they sit out to talk? Are they talking about sensible things? Do they know what they're talking about? So conversation you should have while dating, while getting to another level,
Are very important.
Very important.
And this is the thing, Ashlyn. She said she wanted a car.
Exactly.
And for you, it felt like something like, wait a minute, what? But those are her standards.
Yes.
People need to appreciate
That
the
you have.
differences we all have.
Exactly.
A car may not be a big deal. Maybe I'm going to ask you, oh, do you have any land? Have you
Yes.
perhaps built
Do you have
anything?
some properties?
Do you have properties? Now, levels. People need to learn levels. If you find a woman and she's not your level, top of woman, you don't get angry.
And when
She's
she
just
finds you, you've
not
grown.
your level.
That's it.
It's a beautiful statement, but we have a lot of young people today who have fallen prey of these men who are very smart about masquerading.
Yeah.
And then women come, I got pregnant, I thought everything was his. Everything I
Why?
went to was not his.
Which brings us to the next conversation, Ashley. Children.
Big deal.
It's a big deal because
It breaks and makes a relationship.
I know couples that get into a relationship. They're about to get to the next level, and the woman ends up getting pregnant. And the man is like,
Ho!
I don't want any children. I don't want any children.
We didn't talk about this.
We didn't talk about this. You know why? if you never had a conversation on it and he's not ready to be a father,
And you want a
and
child.
and you're already pregnant now.
Now
you
that's
see where the relationship is going.
and at the end of it all, you will say, you know what, let's get married. That is going to be a very, very kavuyo relationship.
Children is a two-way section. There's this lady who had gotten with this young man. They were serious, and then in the process, they were like really confirming stuff.
Right.
And then she told me, I love this man and I see his future, but I am not ready to get pregnant in the first 2 years of marriage because I do not think I am ready for like fighting for bills, because I know he can't, because this future is bright, because he was doing a certain course that was going to bring in like a bigger job and stuff like that. So
but it was not yet
Clear,
quite there.
yes.
So the guy still started complaining about this. So the issue is, when you talk about children, if you get pregnant at the first, talk about me, I want 5 children, or you person wants 1 or 2. For us, we are like this guy who said, I want 16 children. But
Hey, what's that?
and ask the woman.
From the same woman.
Ask the woman, how many are you willing to offer? I'll figure out where
Is
I
she
get.
a machine?
Like,
Like,
this is what the guy said. Me, I was born one. I have struggled
By the way,
in
I
this
have
world.
seen such a thing with children who
Yes.
are born alone.
Exactly. This guy, I was born one. I have struggled in this world alone. So I don't want my children. I want enough children.
so is he telling you that there's going to be a second and third
No,
wife?
he asked. He said,
How many are
will
you
able
ready?
to
But
give?
you cannot. That's not
You cannot,
a
that is,
realistic.
yes.
Meanwhile,
it's
this
being
girl, This girl
selfish.
was 24, and then Brian, my dream was like 2 children, because she's a lawyer, she's a lead. This guy said, me, I want 16 children. How I get
It's
them?
not realistic.
So the thing about children is very key for you to understand. Now, as we talk about children, weddings and functions is a thing you must discuss when you're getting married. A woman came and told me, Brian, me in my dreams, I am seeing a 500 people wedding.
And this man wants 25.
This guy is like, me, I'm actually okay to even go into the district, I mean, the
DC.
registrar to DC and just register, even though we are two. Every time they talk about a wedding, fights. Every time.
Right. Then that's a flag. But before we move on from the children, we did talk about wanting to have children. But the questions, the conversation you should be having is, do you even want
children at the end of it all?
This is a question that people ignore because you're like, it's a given. Everybody
Yeah,
loves
everyone
children.
wants. Yes.
Some people don't want to have kids.
I've had couples who
do
actually are
not
happy
want to
without
have
children.
Exactly.
So you need to find out if that man wants children
Or
or if that
not.
woman is ready to have children with you.
The one thing I've realized about women and children, their demands change. She can say, I don't want children. After 3-5 years of getting married, everyone comes with a baby. And needs change.
But still, you've had at least a conversation
around kids.
Children are like, it's a gift, but there are people who are very serious about it. If a woman does not give you, for example, there's this woman who came to me and said, Brian, my biggest problem, I have had 2 children who are girls. My man is crying. He says for them, they never have children who are girls. Like, they have a firstborn who is a son, a second one must be a girl. So he's doubting whether they are.
Now that one you take to a doctor because there are scientific explanations.
That you cannot even pin that to a woman or to a man.
So the thing is, we have different understandings. So children, for us in African setting, we believe every marriage must have children. So an African man who comes and tells you, me, I don't want children, you have to know, what are they up to? There's this young man who came to me, he was 40, he said, for me, children, every time I look at the pregnant woman, I get turned off. I don't like anything to do with children.
And that's it.
And you're not going to do anything about it. And the best way to do it, how you can tell that this man actually loves kids, there are men who outrightly will say, oh, that's a nice son. Look at that boy. He's smart. But when you look at a child and you say, oh, look at that child, and he says, Yangwa tugende nawe.
That's a red
That is already a flag telling you, guess what? Kids is not this man's thing until he reaches a point where he will appreciate kids. But when you start talking kids and you think, oh, now that he loves me, he loves kids.
And having these conversations, let's not, having these conversations does not mean that I'm not going to commit to you just because you don't like children.
But I just need to understand.
It just means I will be prepared for the challenges
that are going
may
to come.
occur in our marriage. Yes, you have issues with your finances. We can talk about them. It doesn't mean I'm going to leave you because you're not on my level of thinking.
Yes.
It simply means now I'll know how to handle
Yes.
you. What really kills us in marriages or committed relationships is we go there with high expectations.
Exactly.
With the expectations of things we never talked about. But once you talk about them, you prepare yourself for the
For
challenges.
it.
Lack
Beautiful.
of preparation for such challenges of money. There's women who send you messages, he's not paying any bill. Lucky,
Bills.
I don't
But
know what to do.
Did you tell me that you're coming in for me to pay bills, or we're supposed to share? So that, like I said initially, expectations are what breaks any relationship.
But the
You
problem
expect
we
this
have-
man to be like the other man.
That's
You expect this woman to be like the other person's woman. You need to understand you are taking me for me.
as Brian.
Yes.
So the thing is about expectations. You know, many people are following a certain script. Me, in my family, there's a girl who came. She's the last born of their 4 girls.
Right.
She's like their firstborn set a very high precedent for them that everyone must have a straight marriage, church marriage, children, education, international
how?
school. It's like she has failed to even get a serious relationship because every time she looks at the men she has, no one matches the first. Their elder sister's
elder
husband. And then these others also struggling in that front. So following a script, me, I tell people when you're discussing relationship and it must be your own making, not things you've seen around.
Thank you.
Expectations have killed many beautiful would have been relationships because of what you projected ahead. Now, conversations must come to a place where you know the person and me. For example, me, I cannot date you and you don't know where I come from. You should know this family, they do these things.
Family background is
I mean, there are families whose issues are
beyond you.
The daughters-in-law always struggle with their mothers. And for them, that's how it is. There's this gentleman who came to me and said, for us at our home, our sisters decide what happens in our home. Our sisters, if my sisters don't like you, you're going to struggle. So a woman should know what is your relationship between you and your sisters and your family.
But then also, we sometimes have difficult family members. Those ones are many. There are so many families that have mothers who are hard.
They don't want to let go of their sons and their daughters.
You have to, while you're having these conversations, how does your man protect you
from
his
these people?
family? Because you're going to find families that are difficult. If your man or your woman always also sides with the other family, there's going to be a problem. I've seen men or women who protect their partners from these families, from their own families.
Even
so he should be able to protect you.
Exactly.
Because at the end of it all, when the other family sees the man is struggling and you say, but you, at the end, let me tell you, you are destroying your own relationship.
Right.
These people, interestingly enough, these girls are not married.
Your sisters.
My sister-in-laws, they are not married. They are struggling with their relationships. But this one case study that they have in the family has become theirs for bashing, as a pedestal for them to say, okay, marriage should be like this. We are supposed to. And at the end of it all, it is about the two of you.
Absolutely.
When you're together, when you're in this relationship, moving towards making it stronger or a long-lasting relationship, go to your family, visit your relatives, see how you interact with them, and see how they interact together, and gauge. Do I have a space here? For me, I chose to, because my family members, my sisters, because we are 9 girls. So really we are all over the place within ourselves. But you will never see us step to my brother's home. We have 2 boys. You will never see us step in my brother's home that I come to check the kids. I have come to see my brother. I have come to do what. Those are things that derail a relationship because you didn't talk about it and we didn't agree that when we get married or when we move to this stage, because even in a relationship like this,
there are stages.
They are coming in. They are, because there are people who will start staying together. We've known each other for 4-5 years. We've dated. Okay, now come we stay. And then your relatives start flowing
Talking
in.
about that, there's this couple, this lady came to me and said, Brian, I'm leaving this marriage for one reason. Whenever the family has a function, they want to come to my home.
And dress up from there.
No, do everything.
And everything.
Meanwhile, they come, the sisters don't want to do anything.
Right.
They expect to party, and then the woman is doing cleaning.
Then you have to
preparing
clean
No,
up.
those
dishes
are
and
things
stuff
I
like
can't
that.
do.
And then she said, for them, what was a niche for her? She said, when we have children, my husband is busy telling me, for us at 3 years, my son has to go to, my daughter has to go to Asenga to be there and start school from there. Like me, I want to grow with my children. So that there are some men who believe in their setting of home. If I'm your sister, if I'm your brother, when I have a child who's a girl, I have to send her to,
Send
you
her
because-
to-
grow with you. But this one is like, why me? I have to grow with my children. Families do that, by the way.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it's because of their culture. Again, you really need to have conversations with your partners. Get to know that if it gets to a place where he sends my child to a singer, am I comfortable with that?
Exactly.
Can we have a conversation on it? Getting married to someone or moving to next level, and you can't even sit down and agree
discuss
to
on
disagree.
that.
exactly.
You're going to
You
struggle
have
in that
problems.
relationship.
You're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Then these other forces that are external are going to be pulling you. And this is also friends.
I know.
Have you, we are looking at
Yes.
family, but have you looked
Friends.
at the kinds of
Of friends you have.
around you?
Say, there's this guy who came and told me, I have a problem with my wife. She doesn't have many friends. But the only two friends
They are
of
not
hers I know-
alone.
No, the only two friends. And then she
Exactly.
said-
I have male friends.
And she says, but I've not seen any friend of mine called friends. But the only two friends she has, every time they come, they are smoking. The two. They bring.
Those are her
alcohol.
friends.
Yes. But my wife says she does not smoke.
So she smokes when she goes the other
But
side.
I'm wondering, why is it that all her friends, they look alike, but she's a total difference. I'm trying to figure out my wife properly. She doesn't have many friends. She doesn't talk about them. But I have a big problem. All the two friends that the two she has brought at home, they're crazy. They speak words and stuff like that.
Because you're seeing one side. I mean, friends are supposed to come in
All
shapes
shapes and
all shapes
sizes.
and forms. And you cannot, just because Ashlyn does what she does or I do what I do, it doesn't mean we can't be friends. It simply means that
There's something that
there's something
complements
that you
us.
probably do not know
Yes.
about Ashlyn that I
That
know
I-
as a
yes.
friend. And really, it's none of your business.
Some
Maybe
friends-
you shouldn't be knowing.
Knowing at the first place.
And
Thank
she's
you.
not your friend, you have your friends.
Yes.
Believe
Yes.
that your friends influence what you do. So conversations that really make sense is like knowing people and what they believe, what they like.
Right.
There's a friend of mine who had issues with this girl because she supports a certain kind of sport and she's always there. She goes to the Nambole and she's making noise and this guy is uncomfortable. Like she's
She's an Arsenal fan. Or she likes football.
when you
We are
was
noisemakers.
playing, she would go. Like she would actually even go to outside her home to go watch soccer.
And that was a problem for him?
A big point is like, I'm not comfortable with a woman who likes soccer that much. Like, Nambole,
Oh, wow.
the time Uganda Cranes is playing, whatever happens, come what may, I have to go to Uganda Cranes.
Was he going as well?
It was not his thing. Like, fine, I have an issue for that. So the thing is,
Which is fine. It doesn't
It
have
doesn't
to
matter
be
that you
your
have
thing,
to everything
but you should be able to accommodate. Again,
and support her once
what
in a
is
while.
this thing that people have, and I think it kills a lot of relationships? What makes you think I should be like you? Then if I should be like you, perhaps you shouldn't,
We shouldn't
get
be.
married.
Yes.
There are certain things people need to be satisfied. You make sure you have checklists. People have checklists. They have 10 qualities of the woman you're looking for. If you have 2 qualities out of 10, she's good.
oh, okay, that's beautiful.
You
She is very,
Very
very good.
good.
To go. If you're waiting for 10 out of 10, 8 and 10,
you will not
you're
get
signing
them.
up for
You're looking for
disappointment.
perfectionism, which is not going to
It's not
happen.
there. It's not
there.
realistic.
And have
yeah,
you,
it's
have, you,
real.
have you noticed that people in certain professions, they don't marry their profession? For purposes of obvious things, we don't want to be the same.
Exactly.
Because at the end of it all, you will either disagree on so many things or you live your life trying to be very straight.
Very
because
straight.
You always need madness. I am the mad one in my house. If they look at my husband, they wonder, and I'm like, that guy knows actually, he knows this thing, which not so many can do that. And
Yeah.
others, I say, how did you crack that chick? Because she doesn't even look like she can settle down. Because I am this jumpy, loud. I mean,
But
this is
he
who
knows.
I am.
He
But
knows.
You
he
know how
knows.
to catch you down.
He knows. I am the marriage material.
So in the end, what should people take away from this show? I think it's just knowing, lowering your expectations, because expectations, like we said before, have killed a lot of
Destroy.
relationships. Knowing that it's okay for you to set your own standards.
Exactly.
And not what the world thinks, your own standards. That means a brand. If a woman can't cook, she's not for me.
Thank you.
And that's fine. If you find a woman who says, oh, but I can't cook, what does it mean I'm not a woman? It's like, That
You're
is
a
who
woman.
I am, but
who you
you're
are.
not for me.
And actually that brings us to a point where you need to be yourself in a relationship.
Absolutely.
These things of keeping up appearances, and then time comes where you cannot actually rewind and be something else. Something that
There's
is
a
not
problem.
sustainable is not good in a
I know.
relationship.
At the
Carly,
end of the day,
this one will have a part 2.
some better.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Kachai with Lucky. God bless you. Be kind to one another.